Close reading is simply casting our net into the text at a deeper level. We repeatedly read the text. There's a first reading, usually a first, second, and third reading. Maybe the first reading in a primary level would be with the instructor to the students, but in the elementary and the middle school level, it could be reading, choral reading, and then they could read it silently, and then everyone read it together, or even take turns reading. It depends on how the class environment and the levels of the students. And simply, it is an analysis of the text where the teacher casts the reading via essential question, and then graphic designers will actually be quite useful for elementary and middle school agers, where they could write down the details, the essential question, and take notes. They could take the primaries you could even give them a piece of paper with the title of the text, and they could even draw pictures to since they don't know how to use letters yet, and they could even pretend to write, because it's all a beginning. And the earlier we start the close reading and teaching children to analyze, to ask questions of who, what, when, and we ask questions of inference, and we ask questions of fact before we read the text, and then actually after we read the text. It just keeps the children's mind, and it keeps the text going. And repeated reading is a important process in this comprehension strategy. Close reading is very much mentioned in Common Cores, but actually it's something that every teacher should be doing to teach children to understand, because it's not just about reading fast. We must have our students learn how to comprehend what they're reading. If they read fast and then they don't understand it, then it's mute. And then close reading is so important, because the teacher is casting the net, and we're pulling out the knowledge from the text. Some of the steps into close reading is reread the text together, model close reading habits, ask guiding questions that lead students back to the text. And it's deliberately reading. It's reading with potential, with purpose. Like we're not just reading this text, we have a purpose. We want to find out some information. And basically that's what close reading is. And it's adequate for primary ages, elementary ages, and middle school ages. With primary ages, I might precast the idea or the text with a video. And then I might have a short story at their level. With elementary levels, we would definitely be able to have more challenging reading, and they would be able to annotate it, to highlight it, and to pick out words that are not known to them, and they would pick out the essential question that we have discussed before we read it. Middle schoolers love to highlight. They love highlighters, so I would just simply give them a written copy of their own of a text, and they would go through it and highlight it and annotate it as we read it, and as we repeatedly read it. But close reading is something that needs to be done more often and more intentionally, and it's reading with a purpose. It's asking the questions, and it's analysis, and it's ideas, and it's points of views, and it's details, and it's bringing all those things into focus so that we can comprehend, and so that we can show our teachers how to comprehend the reading, what they're reading about. Thank you so much.